Well, we actually are live right now. Let me switch screens. We're kind of jamming out to this music stuff I've got going. So hopefully it's licensed. I don't even remember if this is a licensed soundtrack. We might get booted off of YouTube or Facebook within the first 2 minutes.
I was gonna say, is that like the free version of the digital version of Enya or something?
Something like that. You know how this licensing deal goes with YouTube and Facebook. I mean, it picks up that crap immediately. So anyway, we're live. It's a Thursday night, not our normal night. Looks like we might, if we get a handful of people tonight watching, we'll be lucky. I don't think anybody knows we're live tonight.
Well, I mean, yeah, nobody knows. We didn't put out any notice and nothing like that. But look, I'm going to be out of pocket next week, so I'm not going to be able to do a show. And again, it's all my fault. We couldn't do it Tuesday night. I had a daughter had a mechanical failure in South Louisiana, and dad had to go save the day.
Well, got to take care of the daughter down there and keep her wheels going. So that's part of it. Life gets in the way. I mean, we're professional amateurs here. So, if we skip a show or two, it's our show. We can cry if we want to.
Yeah. So a lot going on, but hey, I will tell you. I mean, this week's not been. I can't complain. I mean, look, yeah, everybody's got problems. Everybody's got things going on, but I got to tell you the story, right? So, my son, he's got an old car. You know what it is. I'll just tell you. I mean, he's got a '68 Chevelle, right?
Right.
When he
Nice
was in,
car.
when he was in, yeah, when he was in school, it's something I picked up a long time ago. I stuck it in the barn. It's probably been in the barn up there for over 20 years. And I was like, one day, I may fix it up, whatever. Well, he
Yeah.
came along and he saw it and he's like, I'm going to fix this thing up, or dad, he's like, I think I want that car. And I was like, well, okay, you're going to do all the work. You're going to fix it up and all that stuff. And he did all that, tore the
Mm-hmm.
engine down, overhauled it himself, did all the mechanical components and put it all back together. And he drove it while he was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So, it needs a little bit more work. And so we decided this year to turn the plates in and drop the insurance. And then we're going to pull the engine down and do some, a lot more detailed work on it. Right.
Right.
So the, I know when the insurance is going to expire. So like a month ahead of time, I take the license plate in and I turn the plate in and I
Mm-hmm.
get my receipt. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I just let the insurance expire.
Right.
Well, guess what I get from the state?
Oh, the little nasty gram.
Oh yeah, get the little gnat that they've done put a block on my driver's license. So what do? I go to the little DMV place there by the mall to address this, and they say, "Oh well, you got to have a receipt of where you turned it in." Well, I got one, but I just don't. I'll have to go find it. I was like, and I thought I had did it to the place in the heart of Bossier. Well, as it would turn out, the people I turned it into was the people right there by the mall that I was standing right in front of. After I go get my receipt, and I come back up there, and I show her, and she says, "Oh," she's like, "Well, you sure did, didn't you?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, well, thank gosh I have that receipt from y'all." I said, "Because if I didn't have that receipt, what?" She's like, "Well, you'd be getting hit with penalties and all this other stuff and possibly
Mm.
losing your license." And I said, "So are you going to give me a refund for my $5 that you charged me to turn the plate in when I did?" She says, "No, but we're not going to charge you today."
Oh, gee, thanks. Charge me today for something that I should have been charged for in the first place. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
You're talking about that little place over there. I forget which one it is by Ralph and Kaku's right there.
Well, that's the one in the heart of Bossier, but I'm talking about the new one right there by Pier Bossier Mall.
Oh,
There's,
okay.
there's
Okay. I hadn't used that one ever. So,
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
yeah.
And I man, and the drama just keeps going on, because I mean I see it strapped across that thing poking off the center of your head, but I'm now having to join you and Kara in y'all's
Oh,
struggles in life.
these. You're going to be a four eyes
Yeah.
like us. Join the club.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Welcome,
So
welcome to the adult club.
a couple of things happened again. enrolled in a class. I acquired a Harley. I'm officially now one of those guys.
Wait,
And
wait, whoa, 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 whoa. We got to stop for a second here. Do you have a Harley already? Or are you just
I do.
planning to get one?
No, no, no. I've had one for months.
So let me tell you my Harley story, and then I want to see which one of these type of motorcycle riders you are. So a long time ago, I had some people that wanted me to ride Harleys, go buy Harleys back when I was living in Mountain Home, Arkansas, up there and building bass boats, blah blah blah. Anyway, I'm like, but wait a minute. When y'all go for rides, you have to have chase vehicles with full tool kits. That's not fun to me. If I go ride a bike, I want to be reasonably sure I ain't got to work on the son of a gun. So I'll go buy, like, the Honda Goldwing or something. Like, I think their steam blew from their ears or something. Or I'll go buy a crotch rocket. Oh, well, you can't ride with us if you do that. So I want to know, are you a new Harley rider, which arguably may be less work, or you've got one of the older Harleys that you got to work on all the time? Which one are you, Mr. Lowry?
Well, I'm not going to say it's an old one, but I'm not going to say it's a new one either. But you got to understand something. I always thought it was cool, and I thought, one day it'd be cool just to go get a Harley and go riding. It looks like fun, just whatever. But I mean, I'm not. That ain't my thing, right? But an occasion came along. You know me. I go to these auctions. I have an eye. I used to have an eye, not a blind eye, maybe whatever. That
You
I
got
would
two
notice
now, but
things,
that's a
and
whole other story.
yeah. So I came across this deal, right? That it was a police auction, and there was a Harley thing in it, and it was one Harley of a bunch of bikes that were in a storage bin that the police seized. That, as it would turn out, there were about 10 or 15 motorcycles were stolen
Oh, so
from a motorcycle shop,
and
and there were
like this might be a real gang type deal.
yeah, yeah. So, and like on
Sons
this
of
bike,
Anarchy.
when it was in the shop getting fixed, the only reason it was in the shop was because they were getting LED lights put on it, right? But it had things missing. It had like a fender missing. I guess it was sold off of it. The ECM was sold off of it. So there were components that were gone. They were stripping and parting them out, right?
Right.
So anyway, it's a 2008 Electroglide, and you probably don't want to know what I paid for it. $700.
What? I might actually ride a Harley for a 2008 for $700. I mean, I ain't no mechanic, but I think I could fix it up or get it fixed.
Yeah, so I put it all together and I've got it to a functioning running bike and it runs good and it's awesome. It's bad to the
Really?
bone, right? Oh yeah, it's
Dun, dun,
cool as
dun, dun.
crap. But all I've ever rode is dirt bikes.
So
So I said,
are you gonna join what's that Harley gang that used to be the Gray Ghosts or whatever that they tended to wear Confederate stuff
oh,
and all
you
that? Are you gonna join
oh,
those guys or
I
what?
thought you were taking a shot at my age or something there or whatever.
Well, I
No,
mean,
no,
it
no,
it
no.
could be a, what do they call it, double entendre, whatever. Anyway.
No, 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 no. I'm thinking about the Robert's Rules of Order gang myself, but
Oh,
that's another story too. But so I said, "Hey, I'm gonna go get to bike class, so I go get my motorcycle endorsement because I could learn a few things. Even though I'm an old dog, I need to learn a little bit about this, right?"
right, yeah.
And if anybody wants to go do this, the Harley Davidson place there by 220, three state, I think it's three state Harley Davidson. Highly recommend those folks. Professional. I'm talking about class act there. And they even, if you got limitations, they even help you. And you might even determine a limitation or two while you're there. So I get there and they make you do a little eye test, right? Well, as it
Uh-huh.
would turn out, I'm blind as a damn bat in my right eye.
Well,
And then
that
my left
explains
ain't
a
much
lot.
better.
That explains a
Yeah.
lot of the Duke. Focus your camera. Duke, you're fuzzy. Focus your camera. You had no idea, did you?
No, I didn't. So I go to the optometrist or whatever, the doctor, Jorgensen up there in Benton.
Yeah,
He
he's a good
puts me in
guy.
the thing, and you know what he tells me? He
Hmm.
says, "I recommend you not drive at night, and you let Kara drive until you get glasses." What?
That's
Because she's
awesome.
blind as a bat.
Well, Dr. J does pretty much shoot you straight up there. He's a good guy. I've known him for several years. So he's a good guy. And look, I'm glad he's getting you off the road, or at least getting you behind a pair of glasses where you can see. Good grief. I'm glad we hadn't
Yeah.
gone shooting together or something. I would make fun of you because, I got some new eyeballs a few months ago and I can see much better now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And look, no offense to anybody out there that owns a Harley or rides a Harley. I think Harleys are great. I just, I'm kind of making fun of them a little bit with the chase vehicle. But that is a true story. They had to take a chase vehicle every Harley ride with a trailer so they could tow bikes back and full toolkits. Just saying. Wasn't my idea of fun
well,
at that
well,
time.
mine's newer, electronic, fuel injected and all that stuff.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't.
Nice bike.
I mean, it'll if it has a problem, it'll be because of computers.
Yeah, likely so. Okay, so we've got, I don't know, we got a couple of dozen people watching. They're pretty quiet in the comments. I mean, can nobody hear us? I mean, what's going on? I mean, I see Val Baker said, hey, but I don't see anybody else saying hi in the comments. That's quite unusual. Maybe they'll catch up here in a second. So, it's kind of a short show. I mean, we've got a little bit of stuff to talk about, not much, but we did want to do a show this week. So I think we skipped the intro and all that. And look, we'll even skip the ads. I'll make it real quick. Thanks to the Ferrises at Pelican Training and Consulting for always or being a longtime supporter of the show. And way over here above Mr. Lowry's head is at Acadiana Mortgage. If you need some mortgage help, call Miss Kara over there or reach out to Duke or comment on the show or whatever you got to do. And then down here in the lower corner below Duke over there, the outdoor news, the channel is growing. I put a post up or put a video up on YouTube and Facebook with some wildlife and fishery stuff. That is going pretty good and a lot of commentary, at least on the YouTube channel. And then if you need any tech help or whatever, reach out to me and I'm always happy to help some tech people. Hey, you know who I got to talk to today?
Who's that?
Don Hathaway. Remember Don
Really?
Hathaway?
Hadn't Yeah, former sheriff. Hadn't seen him in a coon's age.
He is, I think Don's like 90 something years old, but he's still getting around pretty good. He's living down in South Shreveport, so I went down there. And get this, I think Don is well into his 80s. He may be into his 90s now. And I was helping him get ready for a Zoom call tomorrow that he had to do.
Wow, how about that? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always liked him. He has always been friendly and courteous, and I just always thought a lot of him.
Yeah. Super nice guy. He invited me to stay for lunch. I had some other appointments and couldn't do it. But anyway, so, shout out to Don Hathaway. I don't think he watches the show at all, but super nice guy.
Yeah, so that reminded me something when you mentioned the outdoor news. You made a recommendation earlier, and a part of the outdoor news may, in the future, find itself on the floor of the U.S. Senate, and
Mm.
there's a little short video that uh,
Did you get my email?
I did. I
Okay.
replied to it as well too, and I'm just talking about that out loud. But I want to wait and let things happen on the Senate floor, and then maybe afterwards we show the video, and it'll show maybe where some of that originated from,
Very
and
interesting.
it will have originated right here from you and me and our other duck compadre.
Yeah. Well, and just so y'all know, this is Duke and a good friend of his, Josh Goins, have been doing a multi-part series on ducks and corn and the Midwest and mallards and duck hunting and all that. Anyway, and it's actually generated quite a bit of interest and commentary across the U.S., as a matter of fact. So anyway, it's very interesting. Involves, as Duke was kind of alluding to, some political angles, which could be very interesting. So any of y'all that are interested in that sort of thing, you may want to check it out. All right, so let's get into the show. Oh, our friend Jeff Sadow says Rex said the magic words. we ain't got much to talk about. Get ready for a 2-hour show. We're not doing it tonight, Jeff. I'm going to Academy. I need to get some grip material for some of my rods and wrap some rods because I'm going to the lake tomorrow.
Got that right. So, hey, a few things. I mean, did y'all see the abortion clinic in Shreveport? Somebody took a track hoe to it and they bulldozed it down. It's done,
Oh,
destroyed completely.
well, was it like the killdozer type scenario, or they had permission to doze it down?
Well, no, I think they had
Okay,
permission.
okay.
They had permission to do it, but just the fact of the matter is the structure is gone. The house of death is destroyed.
Yeah, interesting. And so I see a comment here from Joey Herman. Interesting. He says, imagine how many good things could have been created for the community for a fraction of the money spent on Benton Road litigation. Interesting. Yeah, and so Joey, I do see your message here, and so we'll take a look at some of that and maybe try to address it or whatever. So just to let you know live, we did get the message. We just literally got it a little bit ago, so hadn't taken a look at it. All right. So what are we going to talk about? Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with the LSU and Landry
Well,
drama, I guess you could say? Or shall we start
uh,
with the Fleming and Blake Miguez
well, look,
drama?
I mean, look, have you heard the latest on that?
No, brief me on that. As everybody knows, I don't watch football that much. I mean, I do kind of loosely keep up with what's going on with LSU and with pro ball too, but I don't follow it that closely. So,
Well, that's the thing that I haven't heard anything. It's like all of a sudden, all the partisan sides went to running silent and deep.
oh well, I'm
I
sure the
ain't.
lawyers are involved now. I mean,
Well,
we
I
ain't
haven't
talking
seen.
about chump change.
Well, wait a minute, wait a minute. I thought we were talking about Fleming and Miguez.
Oh well, okay. So
What were you
Fleming and
talking
me.
about?
Well, I was talking about the football. Which one you want to take first?
Oh, well, Fleming and Miguez. There's
the
nothing
drama's
there.
about the drama's about the same, and honestly, even in the Fleming Miguez deal, we're talking about a lot of money with our tax dollars in this carbon capture crap.
Yeah, well, I ain't hardly heard nothing. I mean, it's like they laid down and they quit going at each other. I'm wondering if maybe both sides simultaneously figured out that all they're doing is weakening themselves, enabling Cassidy to have a better shot.
Well, yeah, the only problem is, I mean, there were some posts, I think, was it Scott at the Hayride or who was it that said, he doesn't really think the carbon capture is that big a deal to most people.
He's
I
wrong.
He's wrong. I mean, he's got a little bit of a point that the average voter going to the polls isn't going to worry about it that much, but the people that are dedicated voters are well aware of carbon capture. And again, from my standpoint, it's not a safety deal with me or anything like that. And I support pipelines, whether it's oil, petroleum, natural gas, whatever. To me, it's the fact that it's our tax dollars and these tax credits that are propping this up. And if it's such a great idea and such a great business, then private industry needs to do it on its own. That's the biggest problem I have, and the property rights problems. Let me reiterate, which I've already said before, so I'll try to keep it brief. My biggest deal in this is, as most people know, Duke, I think I can speak for you too, but correct me. Duke and I are big fans of John Fleming, among other things, especially because of his stance at the bond commission on the term limits ordeals. And plus, he's a pretty good guy and pretty darn conservative guy. But my biggest thing is that I like Miguez too. Miguez is a gun guy. He got rid of the concealed carry restrictions that have been foisted upon our good state for many, many, many decades. He got rid of those finally. And that's my number one issue with anybody. But the problem that I have with Miguez is his votes, like many others in the legislature, enabled this carbon capture problem that we have boiling here in Louisiana. And so far, he hasn't really publicly come out and against it or admitted he may have made a mistake in his voting like some of the other legislators have. Now, he did do that Moon Griffon interview, but I don't know. It was a big softball, and he didn't really say he was against carbon capture. So that's the only problem I have with Blake. On the flip side, Fleming's made this his like cornerstone issue. Honestly, it's the only one that's getting traction right now, at least on social media. I mean, so it's this whole drama fest. Both of the guys are
Well,
great. I, you know,
I think, and I think it's math. I think it comes down to math because if you start slicing the pie of the state of Louisiana up, you know, Cassidy's votes are going to come primarily from Orleans down that part of the woods. Miguel's votes going to come from Lafayette, Lake Charles, that area. Fleming's going to carry, northwest Louisiana, northeast Louisiana. I don't have a clue. Central Louisiana, I would suspect Fleming may have an edge there, but a lot of that in between and some of that in between South Louisiana stuff that's getting this carbon capture stuff may be that extra little bit that gives somebody that extra to get over the hump.
yeah,
I think that's the calculus. I think that's the math working out in this thing because Miguez's base is going to be split a little bit with Julie Emerson,
right.
you know, uh, that from the same neck of the woods. So I don't know.
Yeah, the thing is, to me, let me see if I can put this and be nice to everybody that's on both sides, whom we both, like for the most part and have interviewed and all that. Many of the people that are involved in it. But here's the thing: um, it's okay to call out somebody's voting record. That applies to Blake Miguez. That applies to Julie Emerson. It also applies to John Fleming. Just make sure that you're not digging and scraping from the bottom of the barrel to try to counter somebody calling out a voting record. I'll just leave it at that because it looks petty and silly, but it is
Yep.
what it is. So, yeah, maybe they've called a détente. Maybe they're lay down their arms for a week or two.
Yeah. So let's get to LSU. So look, we said last show, there was we made a post or I made a post, and people were kind of going after me because I was defending, I guess you could say, Jeff Landry over him taking issue with the debacle of the LSU football coach.
All right.
And everybody was like,
Oh, they
oh
lost
no,
their minds.
LSU doesn't spend a penny on athletics. Taft pays for everything. And, then we went and pulled the legislative auditor's report and we showed in there in black and white that that claim isn't exactly correct. I'm not calling nobody a liar. I'm just saying that that's not accurate. And so then, everybody just, well, the governor don't need to be doing nothing. The governor don't need to be in the middle of all of that or whatever, and there's no way the state can be accountable for anything. Well, fast forward a week or so, and well, guess what? As it would turn out, allegedly, the athletic director who is gone as well, supposedly didn't have a right to fire Brian Kelly. And supposedly the decision of the school was that they were going to reassign Brian Kelly. They weren't going to fire him. But the athletic director on his own took the position to go and fire the guy, which now is why you have this big lawsuit going against the school and arguably the state for on behalf of Brian Kelly that he was fired, and the state saying no, you weren't fired because the athletic director didn't have the authority to fire you in the first place.
Right.
So
So this
would
sounds like
would
a
you
bunch of drama or somebody overstepped their boundaries.
Well, I don't know, but at some point, if the school and all of their staff and directory can't, make this thing go right or however it's supposed to, and they can't all be on the same page, then I mean, who should? Maybe the governor?
Well, I, all right. So here's just my little knee jerk reaction analysis off the cuff because we have no notes for this or anything like that. We're literally off the cuff tonight. But LSU is intricately tied to the state and somewhat to the legislature, somewhat tethered to it. And because the legislature, at a minimum, helps support LSU through the TOPS program, just through scholarships for students, well, the legislature and the state, and therefore the governor, has a right to weigh in on this subject. Not to mention, Landry's obviously an LSU fan, so as a not only as governor but as a fan, he can weigh in on this issue. Now, if he's standing behind the podium with the governor's logo and all that in his official capacity, should he be maybe a little more reserved than he would be if he were speaking just in a personal capacity? Maybe. But what he said actually had, it's got some merit to it.
Yeah, no doubt. So look, I'm glad somebody stepped up to take issue and to kind of say we are going to do this and we're not going to do this, and somebody needed to do it. And
Hey, I just want to know who's negotiating these contracts because a $54 million buyout for college football? That's
uh, uh,
insanity.
yeah, absolutely
Who,
ridiculous.
who, who
And
does
just
the contracts? What moron does these contracts?
well, the moron that got fired, the moron that fired Kelly that didn't have the authority to fire Kelly.
Yeah, but there's more than one person because he ain't writing the $54 million, whatever the number actually ends up being. Here's my point, and so riddle me this. So I'm going to step on a few toes here because, again, I keep up with college football loosely. I keep up with professional football loosely and all that. I like football. I'm just not. It's not my thing. My thing is fishing and that sort of thing because, well, I can actually participate in it. With football, I've never understood the obsession with football teams because we'll just use LSU, a lot of LSU fans didn't even attend LSU, and they're certainly not going to get to run out on the field and play. So, answer me this, answer in the comments. Let me know what the obsession with college ball and professional ball for that matter is. I get it if you like it. It's kind of like NASCAR to me. I'm not really into racing, but if you're at least I can see with NASCAR, you can go run at the dirt tracks all weekend long if you want to and participate in racing. I guess you could go play football with your buddies on the weekends, but I've never quite understood the obsession with football. But anyway, I digress.
Well, I think college is done. I mean, and Landry was right. What Landry said, he said, "Hey, the NCAA needs to weigh into this thing and set some parameters and get it under control because ultimately, this whole thing comes down to who's got the most money and who can spend the most money. That wasn't the case in college football just a long ago. It was about, who had the best athletes, who had the best team, who played
Oh,
the
but
best.
they've
It
been
wasn't it,
Saban was
it
getting
wasn't
paid a
about the
lot of
money.
money. Les Miles got paid a lot of money. I mean, I don't. Coach O got paid a lot of
Yeah,
money. There's
well,
always been money,
yes. Well,
money, money, money,
yes,
money.
but it
Except in this case, now let me interrupt you
but,
for a second. Then you can hammer me.
but it's getting out of hand and insane now.
I would argue it was out of hand and insane. It's just the pot's shifted or the balance has shifted where the insane money is not just on the coaches and the coaching staff. Now it's distributed among all of them, including the players with the NIL. I honestly don't disagree with the NIL. They're adults. If the college football teams are making insane amounts of money on it, why can't the players be compensated as well?
Well,
There's that.
I agree, but it's a problem, and it's all about which systems can generate the most money. I mean, is it going to be that you now can Louisiana generate enough money to compete against California or Texas? I mean, if it's all about how much money you can put into a program, and we're going to have state sponsored programs. I mean, other states ain't never going to be able to compete with Texas or California.
Yeah, but
Hell, they'll just take SNAP money and pay for a football team over there or something.
maybe so. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not the expert on all that. It's just I see it as already out of control even before the NIL stuff came into play and all that. It's insane. And look, if folks enjoy college football, hey, I'm all about it, doing the tailgating thing and all that. Not it's not like I hadn't been to a couple of games and actually enjoyed it. I get that. I'm just saying that I don't know. You're right. It's out of hand. All right. What else? Let's see what else we can bore all 27 people. And we appreciate every one of you that is watching because we had very little notice. We're on an off night and we're rambling. But shall we ramble about? Well, let's talk about the city council. That'll be easy. We can talk about the city council in like 5 minutes or less.
Yeah, pretty much. They passed a budget, and I think that was the long and short of it.
That was pretty much it. Did they raise taxes? Nope.
No, no, they did not. And how did they do that? They paid off, I think, $13 million in debt.
Wow. So, in spite of when we're a little bit hard, not really harsh, but a little bit critical of the councils overall, have to give them a pretty good passing grade so far. Who knew that when we got rid of that institutional knowledge and those entrenched incumbents, it was going to have a positive effect? Who knew?
Right, 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 right. And I can remember going and speaking to a group, an old group in Bossier, and was telling them that, look, Bossier City, they didn't believe me. They didn't believe me. I told them, I said, Bossier City, you're either going to have to pay increased taxes, you're going to have to pay an increase on your water bill. It can't not happen. It's going to happen. This was during the term limits thing. I mean, this is a lot of the elders of Bossier City in this group, right? And they didn't believe me. There was a big hubbub about that I was talking blasphemy. And lo and behold, guess what? All their water and sewer rates and sanitation all went up. All that went up, and we almost had tax increases. And
Almost.
I would tend to say that had we not changed out the majority of the city council, um, you would have gotten those tax increases because
Yeah.
you damn sure wouldn't have got this debt paid off.
Right. Yeah, I agree. So that might be the shortest segment we've had on the Bossier City Council in the past 3 or 4 years.
Well, hey, I can share something, a little whisper that I heard.
Oh, well, let's hear it.
I hear they've the mayor has decided upon a new fire chief.
Oh, has he? Well, he's got lots of
I heard,
fires he needs to put out. That's for sure.
yeah, 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 and it's not who the majority of people think.
Oh, well, this is intriguing. I mean, is it somebody from around Bossier? Did they pull somebody from out of state?
No, they're from around Bossier. They've been around. They were down there. They came to work when I was down there, and I think they may be a decent fire chief. I'm not sure about their experience to manage that. I mean, that is a little bit of a doubt in my mind, but I think it's a safe choice on Tommy's, you know, thing. A young guy, young
Oh,
man.
interesting. So, are you going to give initials out or anything like that? Or are we just going to speculate until it happens?
Uh, I don't know. Maybe. Does anybody? I don't see anybody commenting, so they don't
No,
care. They
just
must, they
just
must all
sat
be
out.
asleep.
No, we got 2 dozen people, and they're awfully quiet people. You're right. We must have put them all to sleep already.
At the end of the show, I'll say who it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then we
Well,
will get to see if you're correct.
and then we'll get to see if I'm correct.
Yes. All right. Shall we do the police jury next, or shall we go to the drama
Yeah.
in Ben? Your
Let's
your
save the
pick.
Benton stuff for last. The
Okay.
the police jury thing, that was pretty interesting. They got some video, and I want to show this and make a point and get your feedback on what they were doing at the police jury. This is a new twist, and one ironically that I would like to see, and if that's the Facebook video there, if you go to
Yeah.
the 7 minute mark,
All right. 7 minutes from
um,
the beginning, correct?
yeah, 7 minutes
Okay.
from the beginning.
All right.
Um,
Let me hit
you
play and
got
make sure
Ken.
we got audio. Hold on. Let's see.
Statistics that popped up.
Got it. Okay. So tee this up.
Well, you've got Ken Ward, the parish administrator there. Great guy, good friend. I have nothing but respect for Ken. And Ken is giving a report on a meeting that they had, apparently with some, I don't know, a demographer or something that was talking about future stats and estimates for Bossier Parish. And some of the numbers that he was saying, and he was reporting this to the full police jury of what he had learned, some pretty amazing numbers. And you just have to listen to these numbers.
Okay. Well, here we go. And just tell me whenever to stop.
That I felt obligated, I needed to share with you. Their demographers have found that in the next 25 years, from 2025 to 2050, Bossier Parish is planning to grow 20%. That's in contrast with a negative 4% of Caddo, a negative 4% in Webster, and only a 6% growth in DeSoto.
That's interesting.
The employment trends tend to, for the next 25 years, tends to be 50% in Bossier Parish, 24% in Caddo, 35% in DeSoto, and 12% in Webster. One of the other strange facts that they decided to share with us, which I think you'll find all interesting based on what we're seeing when it comes to our subdivisions, is that across Louisiana, 86% of the folks polled, citizens of Louisiana, choose to live in a single residence house with a big lot or an estate style property. So we're seeing exactly that in Bossier Parish. 86.6% with 1% apartment and another percent, less than a percent condominiums. So I thought that was very interesting to see that we're experiencing that firsthand. The last fun fact that I'll share with you is that for 64% of the state felt that the state should spend money on current infrastructure than on building new infrastructure. At least keep up with what we have instead of trying to build new. Those were some statistics that I felt that we feel very, very close to home here in Bossier Parish. The annual Police Jury Association annual conference is March
Anyway,
4th through
that's it.
6th
Okay.
in Lake Charles.
Let's see. All right. So that's got. It's interesting to me how they're anticipating double-digit growth for Bossier Parish, yet the surrounding parishes, with the exception of DeSoto, are negative. I mean, that's a big
Yeah.
swing.
Yeah, both Webster and Caddo decreasing by 4% and Bossier growing by 20.
20.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
that's amazing.
huge. Yeah.
I mean, where are we going to put 20% more people in Bossier?
Well, that's a good question. Now, I think he's referring to the parish as a whole, not just Bossier City. But a lot of those people
Right.
are going to be Bossier City because if you remember, Bossier City's growth has been relatively flat, if not kind of decreasing up and down over the last several years. But the latest information, if you go look, is there has been some growth in Bossier City in the last year as well. So famously, the princess and I got into an argument with 5 or 6 other people standing there, and we had to correct her that at that time, Bossier City was not growing. The parish was, but Bossier City was not. It was flatline, but it's actually begun some growth. So that's very interesting too.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought those stats were pretty amazing, and you know, people looking to the future in Bossier, 20% growth. If you, I don't know, if you want to become a builder, I'd say that's the business to be in. I wouldn't say become a realtor or a mortgage broker because ain't much happening on that end. So I don't know what to tell you there. But 942, that'll
All
be the
right.
next mark here.
Let me scroll up there and I'll switch screens again. Just a second. Go back over to share my screen out. And here we go.
And on the rest later.
So you got the engineer there. He's going over some of the construction projects, and he's fixing to give a report.
Okay.
Which one's this one?
This is Smith Road Bridge, Patrick, off of 71, Highway 71.
Interesting.
So that was a 210-foot old timber bridge built in the 80s. We realigned it at the end to take out a sharp curve. So it's coming along.
That tributary is,
That's Red Chute.
Very interesting. Hey, that's not the bridge that I went down there and
Keith,
Yeah.
you want
got that.
completion
No,
date?
this is Cape Sligo Road here.
Maybe that's it.
You
I'm
know,
trying to remember which
Crystal
road
was
it
on.
was.
Because according to somebody, November 1st.
It wasn't a Cape of Sligo.
I never
Road
told
bridge.
you November
No, I
1st.
don't think so. It's
I
been a
never
while.
told you that. I
Can't-
told you I would no longer give
Okay,
you.
Butch.
I
Oh,
told
I'm
you.
sorry, Eric.
I told you I would no longer give you a date until they told me it was scheduled
So-
to be opened. So
You can kind of let that play, but mute it, and we'll just keep talking until it gets to this next section that I want to show. Not so much this about the parks, but
I don't know,
the
that's
point
the key
being,
part.
you remember when we started showing, remember when we were showing the bridge over Black Bayou that was
Oh,
being
yeah.
built?
Yeah.
And we called it the race, and we showed the bridge in Caddo Parish that had the same start dates. It had basically the same construction parameters, same
Right.
distance, same everything, and whether one project would finish before the other. Well, the thing was what did we have in Caddo? In Caddo, we had a live video feed, and we could
Right.
actually
Watch
log
the
in and
progress.
watch it daily.
Right.
And here you've got a report where you're now getting video of the progress on this reported at the meeting. And I just can't help but believe this isn't some of that Caddo influence from Ken Ward. Now, the video he's showing here is a drainage ditch before and after. They're flying the drone. They
Mhm.
recorded what the state of the project was before they started. And then here in just a minute, after it's completed, they're going to show another video of it. It's got me wondering, why don't we have that with this high dollar operation going on in Bossier City?
Well, that's a good point. I'll just say this as a drone pilot, but I hadn't re-upped my Part 107. That's a whole other story. But as a drone pilot, it's a little more difficult to fly in Bossier City legally because of Barksdale. If you're inside their fly zone, that's a no-fly zone, and you have to get permission from their tower, from their air traffic controllers in their tower to fly inside that zone. And trust me, they don't give that out willingly.
I
So
got you.
parts of Bossier City where Bossier City's no-fly zone is, I'm not saying your drone won't fly there, but if you get caught, the people in the black vans and helicopters are going to show up.
Well, why don't you just tie a string on it and call it a kite? Because I see kites all up and down Benton Road or over at Airline High School all the damn time.
Well, the problem is, I guess you could fly a kite over 400 foot, but the problem is the service deck where they fly and possibly interfering with the B-52s and, those other expensive planes around there. You wouldn't want the drone getting sucked up into one or hitting the cockpit or whatever. Anyway, so I'm just saying.
I think it'd probably chew it up and spit it out and call it lubrication.
Probably so. So that may not be the reason. I mean, the reason's probably, they just hadn't thought of it yet. So, hey, Jeff Sadow.
They ain't paying them enough.
Yeah, Jeff Sadow says at least snippets of the police jury meeting will be preserved on the web for posterity. Maybe so. And I thought, Jeff, about going and downloading those each week and putting them in our video archives just so we got them. Honestly, I just hadn't had to do it. I hadn't had time to do it, and I don't have a real great automated way to do that yet, but I may do it since we're, the city council's getting boring these days, except when they have chickens. All right. Anything else you want to show here?
Yeah, let's see the after on this Dogwood drain. I think this was in Dogwood subdivision, and they did the drone, video after they had finished the project, and man, it looked really good. It was amazing. Look, seeing the before and after.
Yeah. All right. So is this it right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Let's turn it up.
Fast. He's going too fast.
There you go. Then you're gonna show the after.
That was the before look, correct?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope so.
I hope so too.
Please, please.
There we go.
Well, what can I say?
Yeah, we sure are glad you got in there, Doug. We fixed that up
Man,
for
I'm
you.
glad you worked hard to get that money for Doug.
I'm telling you,
That's part of my,
I wanna
that
go
was
working
that was my
on
plan
10
all
years.
along.
I won't have to worry about that guy. Well, Doug won't have to worry about that gentleman on the end down there calling any longer.
It turned out well. I mean,
Hey, is that part of the spraying whenever they, our aquatic people take care of ditches and stuff, or are they gonna spray that?
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
Anyway, nice, huh?
growing up in
It
that.
is. It's a good way to see the progress and see what they're doing. So, hey, kudos to the police jury for doing that. And
Yeah.
and fixing their damn audio on their video streams, even though they're doing them as live streams, which means Facebook deletes them after 30 days, but that's a whole other deal. But at least they've improved their audio drastically in these meetings.
Yeah, I just the before and after on that I really thought was good. Now look, they had their agenda meetings kind of before this, and I watched in those, and they were condemning properties, and like the only thing out of the ordinary on one of those, you actually had one of the people whose property were attempted to be condemned. He came up to the mic and he said, I'd request that you delay this. He's like, obviously he was sick or something to that nature,
Right.
walking on a cane, and he had not been responsive to property standards guy. And of course they gave him 30 more days, but he was like, look, in my condition, I haven't been able to. I've done a little bit, but I can't do it as fast as what y'all are wanting.
Right.
So they gave him 30 more days.
Well, that was nice of them. Hey, did they start writing the check out to the McCormicks?
I didn't hear them talking about that. I did not. They
I got to
for
check
some
the
reason
status
wouldn't-
of all that and see where all that sits since their legal victory over the evil police jury. So anyway, we'll have to see. All right. Yeah. So look, we're gonna try to start keeping up with the police jury and the school board a little bit more since the city council. But we're not going to take our eyes off of the city council, because even though we're fans of most of the vast majority, except for one of the city councilmen or council persons, now I guess would be the more correct way to say it. We're not going to take our eye off them because they still might do something we don't agree with or that needs to be brought to light. So. All right. What else, Mr. Lowry? Anything else on the police jury?
That's all I got for the police jury. It was pretty boring.
Yeah. Well, speaking of boring, let's go to, Redford's not a boring guy. I hate to make fun of him too much or poke at him too much. If y'all don't know Chris Redford, he used to work in the news business, lives up in Benton. He's pretty outspoken. Honestly, he's got a large following. He's got a much larger following than we have, and that's good. And he loves to give his opinion. Obviously, from his shirt, says I'm gay. He's also pretty conservative, and I think he's actually a Republican. And so a lot of what he says, I agree with, and he's a nice guy. But he called us out in a video, Mr. Lowry. He specifically called Duke out.
What did I do?
I don't know. So I don't. Well, I know what he's accusing us of. I don't have the timestamp pulled up. I'm going to hit play for just a minute or two. We won't listen to his whole rant, but we'll kind of summarize it. And I want to get to the comments here. Oh, hold on. Let me turn it up.
Which should be a no-brainer. And then something about changing a multifamily piece of property to basically a mobile home piece of property, residential basically. it's the same residential anyway. The only person who had a question about it was one councilwoman who
Talking about the most recent.
didn't quite know the difference
Count-
between residential zoning and business zoning, but that's neither here nor there. But then that same councilwoman, Tiffany Manning, I can say it, introduced a bunch of new amendments or ordinances she would like to discuss and then vote on. So that took the better part of the night because she brought him up, for first reading and everything.
All right. So I'm not going to bore everybody with his entire 12 minutes. And look, I encourage you to go read it. We shared it out on Bossier Watch. But his big premise was that we're wrong for taking the side of Tiffany Manning and Miss Carr, which we haven't actually done, oddly enough. And he doesn't think that they should follow Robert's Rules of Order, even though he admittedly has not read Robert's Rules of Order. He threw it in ChatGPT or whatever AI and just got the summary version of it. And so, Chris, I would encourage you, while AI is great and we use it a lot, you have to go back and double check your sources and double check your facts and not just go off the summary, in my opinion. Now, I want to move down to the commentary here.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
right.
Let's go back. You said he mentioned my name. In
He
what
did.
context did he mention my name?
Over the Robert's Rules of Order, and basically he was alluding to supporting Manning and Carr, and he supports the mayor. And in full disclosure, he ran against Tiffany Manning for alderman or whatever.
Yeah, well, I knew that, but look, I support good government. I support, the however we can have the best government that we can have everywhere. And to that end, I think we have objectively looked at what's been going on in Benton, or what was alleged to be going on. We kind of rooted around in it a little bit, and I think what you've got, I think you really got people across the board on all sides that are wanting to do some good. Now, does that mean that one or two people have ulterior motives that you don't know? Yeah, they probably do. Maybe they do. I don't know. I think it's obvious who has strong points, who has weak points. I think it's obvious who's trying to move the needle, and how and in what ways. All those things are obvious, but I think I would take issue. I'm guessing here about what Chris was saying. The way you're framing it, I'm guessing Chris is against using Robert's Rules of Order
With the Benton Town Council specifically. So,
Okay.
and look, I'm paraphrasing him a little bit, so I would encourage everybody. It's a 12-minute video. Go listen to the video so that I don't take anything out of context from him. And it was a couple of days ago when I listened to the video, so I'm doing this from memory. But basically, he doesn't think that Robert's Rules of Order are appropriate for a small government body such as the Benton Town Council, and that it would potentially strip the mayor of some of his power. And that, again, I'm paraphrasing him, but pretty close to it. But I got news for him. And look, I've said this on the show. If the aldermen want any change up there, or the citizens do, contact your alderman up there, because all they have to do is figure out how to pass some ordinances and they can change it all. Hey,
Well,
but let me point this out, and then let me get your take on it. So Redford's comment, or I said, as Bossier Watch, are you not familiar with Robert's Rules of Order and the fact that most government bodies adopt at least parts of it to keep meetings in order? We'll just have to agree to disagree. His reply was, we will agree to disagree. You aren't fans of the mayor, and it shows. What the hell does it have to do with being a fan of the mayor? I mean, we've been crystal clear on multiple shows, which are all still posted for folks to go back and watch on this. I've pointed out where the mayor was wrong, or I thought he was wrong. I've also pointed out where Tiffany Manning and Miss Carr I thought were wrong, and where the town secretary or the town clerk was wrong and right in some cases. Go back and watch the videos, watch our shows.
Yeah, I mean, look, I distinctly remember saying that I blame the city attorney for not, helping the
Yeah.
mayor out.
Yeah. Absolutely you did.
He let, in my opinion, he let the mayor get hung out there on a limb, and I thought that was wrong. That didn't do the mayor no justice, and I don't even know who their attorney is now exactly, but it has to be an improvement on what they had, because I think all that was being done was cashing a check before.
Ding, ding, ding. I think you're right. So, being the smart ass that I am, I couldn't stand it. I put, we aren't fans of the way the meetings are run. There, Chris, fix that for you. And his response was, well, then come to every meeting. Well, when we have time, I mean, I just don't have time to always run up to Benton to go see what high school drama they have going on, although sometimes it's fun. But I
Well,
reminded him
but
we
at
can
the
do what we normally do, which is request the video and give our opinions. We've been
but
doing
at
that
the
every Tuesday night for 280 shows.
But at the same time, I mean, look, it's just like when we showed up there at Plain Dealing. I mean, we ended up being a distraction, and it being a small body, that was a problem that we didn't need to cause in the middle of that.
Right.
I mean, you know, I think our response has been measured in weighing into this thing, and not going up trying to just completely, because I think there's been some wrong on all sides in this thing with Benton.
I agree 100%. And you can see right here, he goes on. And look, I appreciate Chris's comments. And, he stands behind what he says. That's great. Um, But he says, I don't believe in sitting there and watching the council members attack the mayor and the town clerk. One of the cons of Robert's rule is some can use it to weaponize the system. Well, that can go both ways. Tiffany Manning wants this because she knows she can use it. She wants it because we literally suggested they use it. It wasn't even on their radar before then. Everybody on that council needs to grow up and learn to get along. Everybody just get along. That's not the way it works at all. But adopting something at this point in the game just goes to show something's fishy. Wanting a little bit of structure to the meetings is not fishy, Mr. Redford. Wanting complete chaos and a lack of structure is a little fishy to me.
Yeah, I mean, Robert's rules. I mean, here's the thing. This is my take on Robert's rules. And Robert's rules provides a foundation for the orderly conduct of business. That's
Right.
what it does. It lays out the ground rules as to how business will be conducted. And if what you said was exactly what was articulated, that it gives the minority more power than the majority, or in this case, the chair, you know, I can tell you my experience, that's not the case. It's not the case at all. In fact, the chair arguably may have a lot of power, because he can rule motions out of order, he can
Bingo.
rule people out of order, and he can ultimately have people removed. And he can do a lot of things. And if they keep on, what was it you said he kept saying? He was saying that they would use what point?
Oh, they
He was
would
saying they would use.
weaponize it. Yeah, they'd weaponize it against the mayor or something. But anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's motions that people can make, but it's the mayor, if he's running the meeting and he's using Robert's rule, he can make the judgment, the chair can make the judgment as to whether the motion is in order or not in order. So if say you're debating an issue and somebody keeps raising repetitively a motion, the chair can say that motion has already been discussed, and
Move on.
resolve the motion being made again, because it didn't get through the first time, is out of order, and I'm not going to entertain that motion again. You can't just keep doing it over and over and over to drag the thing down.
Bingo. So it goes, you're absolutely correct, of course. It goes both ways. I would suggest before Redford pops off about something that he admittedly himself admitted has not read or doesn't know that much about, you might want to do your homework first, Mr. Redford, completely. I mean, you're welcome to opine however you want on your page. I mean, it's your page. You can do what you want. But so, and then he pulled out the, go to every meeting and all that and blah, blah, blah. He did this in the news and Tiffany Manning's weaponizing and Tiffany this and Tiffany that. Anyway, I said, as Bossier Watch, interestingly, what goes on in Benton does affect us all. You are not interpreting our position correctly. You can easily watch our shows. Try doing a little research and then get back to us. By the way, it's okay for us not to completely agree. We're still fans of most of your content anyway. So then, here's where it got really interesting. Jeff Gatos said, Bossier Watch.
Jeff. I know, Jeff.
Said, Bossier Watch. Whom from Bossier Watch is responding to Redford specifically? Who is the author of these responses? Like this is some mystery. It got a 50-50 shot, Jeff. The only two people that control Bossier Watch's content are me and Duke. 50-50 shot there, buddy. So it's like I answered as me. I said, tonight it will be me who is specifically the author of the responses from Bossier Watch. He goes on, anonymity is cowardice. Thank you, Rex. No problem. Cowardice is not in mine nor Duke's DNA. Remember, if I respond as Bossier Watch or Duke does, it's a 50-50 shot. Everything we have said since the first show is on full public display. No takebacks, as we say repeatedly.
Well, I think back about that show when Chris Smith got his panties in a wad about something. I don't remember. Oh, it was you.
Softballs. Yeah, I said softballs with the two guys on the sidewalk deal.
Yeah, and you made him mad, and he came on the show, and he was like, and I was like, look, I didn't know nothing about the damn thing, and he's like, well, it doesn't matter, it's one and the same. Well, yeah, you're right.
Didn't know we were joined at the hip.
Yeah. Anyway,
and then, but hold on. So he's got one more comment. So Gato says, all caps is low rent, but I get you. I reply back, of course, I'm a natural born smartass, as my mother, who is in the comments, can testify. I've been this way since I could talk. You're right, Jeff. All caps, in all caps, are low rent, but it's the only thing that gets attention when logic's too expensive for some folks to buy.
I thought all caps mean you were saying it loud.
It does. You can't do bold print right there. And so sometimes, to me, if I want to emphasize something, I will do all caps, use sparingly. All caps is hard to read if the whole thing is in all caps. You actually read better in correct upper and lower case.
Well, incidentally, I can read it better if it's in all caps these days lately.
When you get your glasses, Mr. Lowry, and can see again, yeah. I don't know how you've been making it through this show and reading notes. You're the one that reads the notes.
That's probably what's doing it to me.
Probably so. Probably so.
Well, I mean, look, you know what? I'm not. There may be some validity to that. Robert's rules would be the right thing for Benton. I mean, because they are a small organization, but the thing is you've got to have it's like every organization has their own kind of like their local rules, and Robert's
rules of decorum
affords you, to operate the way your local way you do business, right? But if things get really technical and it gets down into the weeds where you've got people that are completely 100% disagreeing on, and they're not going to agree, Robert's rules gives you the basis to get down to managing that disagreement orderly and businesslike,
right,
to where you it's not personal.
Yeah, it's not a drama fest. You're getting down to business and getting it done, and you can disagree and then move on.
it doesn't mean it has to be technically, point of order, or, I make a motion to amend, or you don't have to get that technical on all that stuff. You don't.
But
I mean,
but they need
good
some
grief.
structure, some type of guidelines. Right now, it's a free for all, and they don't know what they're doing. And you're right, absolutely right. The attorney previously was just sitting there. Well, I don't know what he was doing, but anyway,
Yeah, I mean, well, what are the guidelines now?
yeah, there are none.
That's to me that there are none. I think it's kind of why. And this is not, they may say it's a criticism of the mayor, but it's not a criticism of the mayor. I would say that it would be any mayor up there if the mayor, in his mind, is the order and rules and how things will be done and how they'll be conducted. Then what is the point in having the alderman?
Right?
Why
Yeah.
why do you have other elected officials? You shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point?
Yeah. Let it be a monarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hate to say it, Mr. Lowry, but that's all I got.
Yeah, well, you need to skedaddle and get on up there to. So, anyways, does anybody want to have a guess as to who's going to be the fire chief in Bossier?
Oh yeah, I want to hear this. I want to know. So here's how we're gonna do this. First of all, let me get the little semantics out of the way. We appreciate everybody watching. This is probably one of our shortest shows in a long time. But there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. And again, life kind of got in the way for Duke and for me this week. And so we wanted to have some kind of short show. So we appreciate everybody watching. If you got some email you want to send, want it to be anonymous, do the Proton Mail thing. We should be back next Tuesday night as normally scheduled. If not, we'll, of course, put a post up. Mr. Lowry, I will let you reveal who your guess is and take us out of this show. When you are ready, I will hit the finish button and we will be out. Oh, Chris Davis says, says all caps is yelling, me, 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 me. He's like the donkey on Shrek. Pick me, pick me, pick me.
All right. Allegedly, the next fire chief in Bossier City is Chris Davis. Got it right. Brad Bachhaus.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. All right. I'm going to hit the finish button. You heard it. Brad Bachhaus. Very interesting. All right. Anything else, Mr. Lowry?
I'm no, not sure about next Tuesday.
Okay. Well, hey, it's our show.
You-
If we need to reschedule the date, not a problem. Oh, I remember what you told me. Okay. That's
You
okay.
may be solo, or I may have to just chime in from mobile.
Yeah, from the road, and we may try to get a guest on, or we'll skip a week. I don't know. We'll figure it out, folks. We'll let y'all know on Facebook and on YouTube. Just, as always, keep following us there. We appreciate everybody. All your comments, Mr. Lowry. Again, wrap us up. I am headed to Academy.
Adios. Good night. Thank y'all. See you next time.